Good morning. Hey, fans. Welcome to First Unitarian Universalist Church of Richmond. We are a congregation of free faith tradition, bound not by creed, but by a covenant. My name is Carol Dunlap. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm honored to serve on your board of directors. Our church began in 1833. I could not remember that in our first service. As a liberal Christian community, we are now a community of many faiths and beliefs united in a single covenant of care. We are committed to being a deliberately diverse and fully inclusive community of adults, youth, and children. Together, we explore our connection to each other, to the sacred, to all life, and we strive to bring our values alive in this community and beyond. If you're a visitor here today, we welcome and look forward to meeting you. We encourage everyone to tune in on Sunday mornings 5 to 10 minutes early in order to catch the rolling announcements. Good way to stay informed about the things important to our church. Namaste.
Thank you, Carol. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am the Reverend Sherman Z. Logan, Jr., and I am honored and privileged to serve this wonderful congregation as your senior minister. It's so good to see you all here this morning. Give you a hand clap of praise. What a wonderful day for worship. And I'm so glad to see all of you. Joining me this morning as the worship associate is Ann Joseph. We have Barry and Darlene as our song leaders. Our youth ensemble to provide music for us this morning. And our worship and music director, Jamie Kirkpatrick. It is a custom here at First UU that we invite our visitors to tell us who you are. So if you are visiting for the first time, second time, 102nd time, if you've been here more than 100 times, see me after service, we can get you to join. And as you are comfortable, raise your hand, and Jamie, the minister of the mic, will come to you and you can tell us who you are and where you're from.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Robin Parsons, and I'm here with the Bobcat Sports League for the first time. This is my first time at this church. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm David Taylor. I'm Director of Coaching with the Bobcats. I've coached for over 30 years with the Youth League, and now I'm help with the volunteers and stuff in the Richmond Parks and Recs program. And there's so many rewards. We're looking for coaches. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. After a 4-year hiatus, Mike and I came back this morning. It's so good to be here, and it's been wonderful getting reacquainted with many of you. We came in this morning, so love you all.
Welcome back, Bob. Mike.
Good morning, Chris. Hello, my name's Chris Glendenning, and I am visiting from Charlottesville. I plan on moving to Richmond once the housing market... What can we say? And I am shopping for a faith community for when I move here. So thank you for hosting.
Thank you.
I'm going to go through Anita. Here you go.
Good morning. I'm Jim Brown. I am a retiree and recently moved to Richmond. And you look like the kind of folks I want to hang out with.
Thank you.
Thanks.
My name is Jim Schlombach. My wife and I have a condo in Richmond. We've been coming down for years visiting because I am Sam's stepdad and Iris's banana grandfather. And I have moved here permanently now in a condo. My wife is still in New York as our house is selling. Please, everybody say a prayer for a good open house this afternoon. And we'll be joining when Kay gets here full time.
Welcome. Okay. Jamie.
What? You?
Hi, my name is Fran, and this is a public service announcement. If any of you have signed up for a name tag recently, there's a special spot out there with new name tags, and it's getting very full. So please check it out. If you requested one and haven't seen it yet, it may be there. And if not, you can sign up. I'm the name tag lady, so you can get me after church, and I'll make you one.
Thank you, Fran. Okay, Jamie, I think that's it. So please rise in body and spirit to greet our neighbors and welcome our visitors.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ginger Clark. My pronouns are she, her, and I serve on your Leadership Development Committee. Today, I'm delighted to present the Ian M. Finlayson Service Award again. The Service Award is given each quarter to a church member who has made outstanding volunteer contributions over a sustained period of time or for a significant project. For her many years of committed service, please join me in congratulating Nikki Rovner. Now you just get to stand here while I say embarrassing things about you. You're getting a high five over here. Nikki is another one of those members who volunteers so much in the background and in the basement that some of you may not know her, but it seems like you do. But you should know that whenever she is involved, good work is getting done. Nikki joined First UU in 2006 and served on the board from 2010 to 2013. She has also been in the choir, coordinated simple suppers, and volunteered with gallery with me in the boutique over the years. In 2012, Nikki was among the first group of intrepid people who took the OWL, or Our Whole Lives, certificate training to provide sex education to middle and high schoolers. This might be the most awkward and unappreciated role in our church. To Nikki and the other teachers who have offered this vital instruction and held space for our youth, I personally give deep and awed thanks for your bravery. Regina Largent stated that Nikki always provides our students with relevant, local, and up-to-date information, since our books were written a while ago and are not focused on Virginia laws and Richmond resources, and she makes it interesting for our students. Ray McGugan concurred, saying Nikki is great with the students, always prepared and ready for anything, a valuable quality for an OWL teacher. Nikki's current OWL co-teacher, Grant Honeycutt, continued, working alongside Nikki has been a great learning experience. She is kind and approachable to the students. She is thoughtful and knowledgeable about the material, and she is generous and fun to be with as a fellow facilitator. Leanne Luskin gets the final word. She said, Nikki's decade-long commitment to our young people as an OWL facilitator is such a gift to this whole community. She has a steadiness and calmness that help kids feel okay asking tough questions and exploring challenging topics. The ripple effects of Nikki's efforts, along with all of the dedicated facilitators, cannot be exaggerated. Finally, as the Living the Pledge workshops began to return in person after the pandemic, Nikki stepped in to help organize this effort. Annette Marquis, one of the Pledge founders, said, when the Pledge facilitators gathered to talk about re-energizing our work, Nikki volunteered to become a co-coordinator with Margaret Rush. She has helped reinvigorate this important work at First UU. And Margaret amusingly said that Nikki is willing to do all of the unsexy work. That really was her word. Nikki says yes when asked to help. She is organized, curious, open to new ideas and new directions, calm, caring, giving, reliable, and competent. Really, who could ask for anything more in a volunteer? Nikki, in recognition of your deep commitment and ongoing service to the community, we present you with this gift chalice that was made by church member Nancy Pratt and donated as the March 2024 recipient of the Ian Finlayson Service Award.
I'll just say briefly, I'm so grateful for your kindness in recognizing the few things that I have done around here, and I am enormously grateful for those of you who are the people who keep this place going, and I see many of you in the audience today. I'm so grateful for your service. I'm inspired by it. It's something to aspire to, and again, thank you very much.
A call to worship, words by Arlene Goff. Thresholds, we cross them every day, from room to room, from outside to inside, and back again, from here to there, from everywhere to anywhere, from age to age. Each threshold offers an opportunity for change, for renewal, for transformation, from what we were and what we are to what we can be. In this hour, in this place, we cross the threshold from our day-to-day everydayness into space and time, attuned to the other, to the sacred, to the holy, and to awareness of new life, pregnant with possibilities. How will we be renewed in this moment? How will we be changed by this hour? How will we be transformed through this gathering of the beloved community? Come, you longing, thirsty souls. Come, let us worship together.
Our chalice lighting reading, May This Flame by Betts Weinecke. May this flame, symbol of transformation since time began, fire our curiosity, strengthen our wills, and sustain our courage as we seek what is good within and around us.
Then please rise in body and spirit, and let us sing our opening hymn, Touch the Earth, Reach the Sky.
This is a Sufi parable called The Tale of the Journeying Stream. A stream from its course in the far-off mountains, passing through every kind and description of countryside, at last reached the sands of the desert. Just as it had crossed every other barrier, the stream tried to cross this one, but found that as fast as it ran into the sand, its waters disappeared. It was convinced, however, that its destiny was to cross this desert, and yet there was no way. Now, a hidden voice coming from the desert itself whispered, "The wind crosses the desert, and so can the stream." The stream objected that it was dashing itself against the sand and only getting absorbed, that the wind could fly, and this was why it could cross a desert. By hurtling in your own accustomed way, you cannot get across. You will either disappear or become a marsh. You must allow the wind to carry you over to your destination. But how could this happen? By allowing yourself to be absorbed in the wind. This idea was not acceptable to the stream. After all, it had never been absorbed before. It did not want to lose its individuality. And once having lost it, how was one to know that it could ever be regained? The wind, said the stand, performs this function. It takes up water, carries it over the desert, and then lets it fall again. Falling as rain, the water again becomes a river. How can I know that this is true? It is so, and if you do not believe it, you cannot become more than a quagmire, and even that could take many, many years. And it certainly is not the same as a stream. But can I not remain the same stream that I am today? You cannot, in either case, remain so, the whisper said. Your essential part is carried away and forms a stream again. You are called what you are, even today, because you do not know which part of you is the essential one. When it heard this, certain echoes began to arise in the thoughts of the stream. Dimly it remembered a state in which it, or some part of it, had been held in the arms of a wind. It also remembered, or did it, that this was the real thing, not necessarily the obvious thing to do. And the stream raised its vapor into the welcoming arms of the wind, which gently and easily bore it upwards and along, letting it fall softly as soon as they reached the roof of a mountain many, many miles away. And because it had its doubts, the stream was able to remember and record more strongly in its mind the details of the experience. It reflected, yes, now I have learned my true identity.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Robin Parsons, and I'm here representing the Bobcat Sports League. We are in South Richmond, and we were founded in 2007, so this is our 18th year. And we did it on the Jank Road area because we were seeing kids hanging out. Vandalisms were up, so we started the program. We started with about 9 kids, and to date we've served over 4,600 kids through our program. We are focused on the underserved. As we say, we serve the underserved, but all are welcome, because many of these children are going to grow up and live here, and we want them to be productive, law-abiding citizens. We went from Jank Road because of the demographics changing so much. We still do Jank Road area, but we moved over to Jefferson Davis and to Bouchal off of Hopkins because of the great need over there. These kids this is some of the best things that they have. And so we started over there. David Taylor, who is here, he is now our head of coaching. And so we started over there, and it has been just very, very rewarding. We serve kids from 4 to 14, but these kids are tutored on Saturdays. They're tutored, and then they go to games. That's the rules. They sign a code of conduct, they act appropriately, and GPAs have increased from 3.2 to 3.7 with this group. Some of these kids have 4.0s now, because soccer is our tool. It's not just about soccer, it's about teaching them lessons, about learning how to act, how to carry themselves, what's right and wrong, because that is a hugely area with a lot of drug and gangs. So we try to keep them and give them an alternative to this. On Friday mornings, I go and I pick up about 700 pounds of food, 700 to 800 pounds of food, which I take to the school, and it's distributed to our players. We have a shortage of soccer cleats because kids go through soccer cleats. And so any of these things we greatly are in need of. And coaches, we need volunteer coaches. So if anybody knows anybody interested in that, please let us know. We started with 9 children, no uniforms. I said, I don't care if we win a game, but we've got to look good, because that's important, because kids go, and I would see the city kids come in, and they would have T-shirts and things like this, and the county kids would get off, and I would see the self-esteem just deflate. So we look good, okay, and we're now the largest community organization playing with Parks and Recs in the city of Richmond. We have more teams than anybody else playing for that division. So we do have a lot of children, and I really do thank you all for supporting us, and this is a great opportunity for any organization like ours to have this program at Share the Plate. So thank you very much, and if anybody has any questions, I'll have brochures out there. You can feel free to call me or just log on to Bobcat Sports League, and our numbers are there. Thank you very much.
Please look through the monitors of ways to give. The usher will now pass the basket. Offering will be taken and most graciously received.
Waiting on the world to change.
As we enter into this time of meditation, reflection, prayer, please hold Tom Norton and his wife Catherine in your hearts this week. Tom lost his father last week. So we ask that you keep them in your thoughts and prayers. As we prepare for meditation, I ask that you get comfortable in your seats. Breathe in a deep breath. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, kind of settle into the space that you're in, and if you want to let your eyes rest, you are certainly welcome to do that. Let your shoulders rest. Turn your attention within yourself. And the words of meditation comes from Martha Kirby Capo. I've hidden myself away these past months, stoppered myself into the squat jug of my body like an olive oil shelf in the back of the pantry, kept well out of the light. Hidden and undisturbed, I haven't simmers or steep or percolated or ripened. I'm simply sat. It hasn't felt like rest. It has felt like suspended animation, as if I'm aware of all that has continued in the movement around me without me. Something of myself is leaking, something I had not noticed before, something I'm only noticing now as I settle into the stillness of the brown husk of dead stalks, into the wilderness of the bleach and the flattened mulch I'm standing upon. The air stills around me. I silence the noise of the external, listen for the sound of the internal, for the sound of the eternal. Sometimes the vessels leak because it is worn through its fissures, delicate as spider webs, drop of energy tracing along the strands of brokenness, to gather and fall away so subtly, so slowly, as to be unnoticed until one day we are not as full as we once were, and we wonder, how did that happen? Sometimes a vessel is brimful, drops of energy clinging to each other, their surface tension strongly bound and tingling with potential. The drops rise slightly over the confines of the vessels to fall away with wild abandon. We notice we are filled with more than enough to share, and we wonder, how did that happen? Something of myself is leaking. How did that happen? As winter wanes into hesitant spring, there's no answer quickening within me. I am as reluctant to respond to the spring as the prairie around me. I have lain too long and do not want to get up. Perhaps I'm broken, perhaps intact. More likely I'm both. Perhaps I'm kintsugi, broken pottery prepared in the gilded liqueur, the history of my weakness honored and celebrated in gold. The sound of leaking from the chipped vessel, from the intact vessel, is the same, but the meaning of that is not. A new season of growth is coming. What meaning will I make from it? When would I once again tingle with potential? How would that happen? The next reading, Unfinished, by Anonymous. In the quiet corners of existence, where the shadows blend with light, I find myself an unfinished creation, a canvas half painted, waiting for the artist's touch. My edges blurred like watercolor bleeding, caught between the lines of destiny, brushstrokes of hope and hesitation, a masterpiece in progress, yet to be revealed. I am the unwritten chapter, the inkwell still brimming with possibilities, each heartbeat whisper promise, a tale waiting to unfold across the parchment of time. Embrace my fragmented essence, for within imperfection lies beauty. The cracks in my soul, like veins of gold, map the journey of becoming, of yearning. I am not a puzzle missing pieces, but a mosaic of fragments, each shard a memory, a dream. A mosaic that reflects the universe within. So let me remain unfinished, a symphony of unfinished notes, for it is in the gaps, the pause, that the music of existence finds its rhythm. Well, you know, by this stage of my life, I thought that I've figured it all out by now. I thought that I would know by now exactly what I wanted out of life. I would know exactly how to get it by now. Isn't that what we're told about being an adult? We were already supposed to be the person that we imagined when we were 10 years old, right? So when I was 10, I dreamed of becoming a star wide receiver playing professional football when I grew up. You see, I was one of the fastest kids on the field, could catch anything thrown my way, and I wasn't afraid to get tackled. And I was certain that when I grew up, I would play in the National Football League, make millions of dollars, drive fancy cars, live in a mansion. So how did that work out for me? I didn't even try for my high school football team. And I never imagined that I would grow up to become a Baptist preacher, and I certainly never imagined that I would become a Unitarian Universalist minister. You know, God does work in mysterious ways. And yes, at 10, I knew I would become the person I imagined to be. And then you guessed it, life happened. And as I got older, I slowly realized that 95% of what I thought I was supposed to have figured out by now wasn't anything close to what life is really about. Because, my beloveds, the lives we are living are not finite, they're not written in stone, they're not stagnant, and they're not about breaking through certain thresholds. Our lives are one massive, humongous, and sometimes overwhelming work in progress. And you see, there will never come a time when we are complete and finished beings, because the state of being complete and finished is antithesis to what we humans are about. But yet too often we fall into the trap of believing we have already reached that final form. But you know, life is malleable. Life is constantly throwing new things our way, and it's more continuous learning experience than anything else. And as far as I can tell, this is life will always be. But I'm not telling you that everything is never good enough or things are never finished. Products are finished. Books are finished. The project of work that everyone hated was finished, but continue to exist as this human being on this planet. It's a little bit more complex than just completing a project for work or writing a novel. And there will never be a time in life when everything makes complete sense. There will never be a time in this life where we won't struggle at least a little bit. There will never be a time in this life when we are finished working on ourselves. And there will never be a time when we have everything figured out. These times will never come to pass because existing can constantly necessitate work. There will always be things we can get better at. There will always be things that challenges us. There will always be things that we want to correct because we all are work in progress. Psychologist Dan Gilbert reminds us that human beings are work in progress that mistakenly think that they are finished. He said that we somehow imagine that the person that we are right now is the person we would be for the rest of our time on earth. But you know, we're not the persons we were at 10, 20, 30 years ago. We're not the same person we were last year, even last night. Because each day we are alive, we evolve, transform. Our bodies are changing. Our thoughts are changing. Our beliefs are changing. And our worlds are changing. Things are ever changing around us and about us. And we all are works in progress. From the moment we are born and let out that first cry to the final moment of our lives when we take our last breath, we are in a constant state of evolution and growth. And we are indeed unfinished masterpieces, each stroke of the brush adding depth and complexity to the canvas of our existence. But too often, we once again fall into a trap of believing that we have already reached our final form. We become attached to certain identities, beliefs, and ways of being, closing ourselves off from the possibility of change. And we mistake the comfort of familiarity for the fulfillment of true growth. And as human beings, we are born with boundless potential, and circumstances of our lives shape us. the experiences we have, the people we meet, and the choices we make. And each moment and each interaction leave an indelible mark upon us, shaping us into the unique individuals we are meant to become. And though the idea that every person on this earth is continued work of progress may seem a bit far-fetched to some, because we all think we got our stuff together, right? Do I have my stuff together, baby? I need to ask my wife that question. But it's important to understand that that will always be the case. We'll always be works in progress because we're not cars, pieces of furniture, or a line of code. There's no finished state to being a human. An act of understanding is the reality that keeps us open to life and the possibility that comes from accepting the nature of humans. And the second we feel that we have everything figured out is the second we no longer give life a chance to change our minds or to enlighten us. Now, some people are afraid to be work in progress, and the main reason for this is the ill-found negativity towards the concept and the general push from modern media and the dominant culture to want perfection. And if we think that we're not work in progress, then the only assumption that can be made is that we believe that we are perfect and owe the desire of being perfect. And unfortunately, there's no such thing as perfection, and trying to achieve it or believe in it can become a real problem. And if you don't want to be a work in progress, then we are stagnating and just wasting our time. And if we are perfect, we'd never be wrong, and we certainly would never make mistakes. Can we handle this kind of pressure for the rest of our lives? I don't know about you, but I know that's too much pressure for me to handle. And you see, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves when our goal is perfection instead of constant improvement. We don't have to put the pressure on ourselves if we are willing to accept that no one can actually be perfect. Now, we all know that, but society ingrains in us from an early age that we have to be perfect. A perfect child, a perfect sibling, a perfect student, a perfect employee, a perfect partner or spouse, a perfect minister. We have to have the perfect body, live in a perfect home, and have a perfect job, and be members of a perfect faith tradition. Now, we don't want to make mistakes because we are afraid that someone would think less of us, less of our humanity if we weren't perfect. But you know, everyone makes mistakes, and we start to recognize that we are actually just work in progress, and then we can acknowledge our mistakes and fears because we can happily admit to not being perfect. So I want you to take a moment and turn to your neighbor and say out loud, I am not perfect. Okay. All right. Now say, I make mistakes. I am a work in progress. Now, isn't that quite liberating? Because we all are unfinished beings, and there's a beauty of being unfinished beings. But what does it mean to be unfinished? How do we embrace the beauty of imperfection and embrace the journey of becoming? Embracing the fact that we all are work in progress can be easy for some of us, and it can be very challenging to others. However, embracing the status as work in progress requires cultivating a spirit of self-compassion and acceptance. And we must learn to embrace our flaws and imperfections, not as signs of weaknesses, but a reminder of our humanity. And just as the sculptor see the potential in the block of marble, so we must see the potential in our unfinished selves, knowing that each crack and crevice add character and depth to our being. And by embracing our unfinished nature, it invites us to embrace the process of growth and transformation, and it's required us to open up to new experiences, new ideas, and new ways of being in the world. And just as a seed must break through the soil to reach the light, we too must push past our own limitation. And perhaps more importantly, embracing our unfinished self requires us to embrace the journey of self-discovery and self-creation. And it requires us to be participant in our own evolution to continuously strive to become the best version of ourselves. Just as the painter adds layers of color to a canvas, so much we add layers of wisdom, compassion, and authenticity to our lives, knowing that the masterpiece is not the finished product, but is the process itself. Being unfinished work in progress also requires us to embrace that we're ever evolving, transforming, and embracing transformation. It requires us to cultivate a spirit of openness and receptivity. And we must be willing to let go our perceived notion of fears and attachment to the past. We must embrace our own vulnerabilities. And this will require us to confront our deepest fears and insecurity, to face parts of ourselves that we might have long ignored or suppressed. And yet, in these moments of vulnerability, we find the courage to step into our authenticity and embrace our truest self. Because transformation is not merely about the external shifts, but about nurturing our inner growth that leads to self-discovery and fulfillment. It's about recognizing that we all are unfinished beings, continuously evolving and refining ourselves through our life experiences. But transformation is not always easy. It can be messy, chaotic, unpredictable, and we may encounter resistance from both within ourselves and from others. Yet it is through these changes that we find the greatest opportunity for growth and self-awareness. And embracing transformation doesn't mean we have to abandon our values or our beliefs. Instead, it allows us to deepen our understanding of ourselves and the world around us, enabling us to live honestly with a purpose. And it is through this process of change that we uncover the hidden strength, cultivate compassion, and connect with our true essence. So as we navigate the complexity of our lives, we must remember that transformation is not a destination, but a continuous journey. We are unfinished work in progress. And I'm glad I'm not my 10-year-old self aspiring to be a Pro Football Hall of Famer. Because my life journey has taught me that the many obstacles that I have encountered, every triumph that I celebrated, continue to my growth and help shape me into the person that I am today. But you know, I don't have my stuff together. I am still a piece of work, right, honey? A work of progress that will continue to be so until I take my last breath. So let us all cherish the beauty of being a work in progress, knowing that our imperfection makes us humans and our willingness to evolve makes us all divine. And together, let us embrace our transformation as a sacred gift and embrace the infinite possibility that lies ahead. Friends, we are all work in progress, and that's a good thing. May this be so.
Yeah, just in case a lot of people in the room of an older generation, this is Taylor Swift. Not all the ones on radio.
It's a sad picture, but the final blow hits you. Somebody else gets what you wanted again. You know it's all the same, another time and place, repeating history, and you're getting sick of it. But I believe in whatever you do, and
Awesome. Our chalice extinguishing is by Eric Walker Wickstrom. The purpose of this community is to help its people grow. If you are who you were, and if the person next to you is who he or she was, if none of us has changed since the day we came in here, we have failed. The purpose of this community, of any church, temple, zendo, mosque, is to help its people grow. We do this through encounters with the unknown, in ourselves, in one another, in the other, whoever that might be for us, however hard that may be, because these encounters have many gifts to offer.
Thank you, Anne. Now please rise in body or spirit as I give the benediction. Now, as we leave this sacred space, may we carry with us the knowledge that we are all work in progress. May we approach each day with humility and openness, knowing that there's always more to discover about ourselves and the world around us. And may we find joy in the journey, trusting that each step we take brings us closer to becoming the fullest expression of our true self. May this be so. Amen. Ashe. And let us sing our closing hymn, There's More Love Somewhere.